Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Inside BC Place Stadium for the second of 3 consecutive Saturdays under the dome. It is the 2018 BC High School Football Championships. That's right, the road to the Subway Bowl continues here, and we thank you for joining us on SportsCanada.TV for a couple of great games. Well, we're going to have 4 great games all in a row for you here today. My name is Justin Morissette. I am pleased to be joined up in the booth by Matt Macri. Matt, we're back at it again this year.
Back at it one more time. This is phenomenal. I'm so excited about this today. These are some really good teams here to compete. I'm from Abbotsford, so the Bateman being here is just phenomenal for me. I've coached some of these kids coming up through the ranks in community football. Love seeing them out there.
Robert Bateman going head-to-head with the Holy Cross Crusaders here this morning in our first of 4 straight games. It's the AA action semifinals, and it is underway as Bateman off the kickoff are well away. Oh my goodness, what a start to this game. Sam Davenport goes the distance, gets his team into the end zone, and not even 14 seconds into this one, Robert Bateman is on the board.
He found a lane and he took it hard. He catches it here. One of the things I always say is run forward. So he gets to the outside, finds his lane, and just straight forward down the field, and there's the stride. He knows at this point no one's stopping him, and he's gone. The kicker makes a valiant effort here at the end, just dives for the foot, but nope, not getting him. Great job by Davenport.
Sam Davenport, of course, was an instrumental player in getting his team to this point. I had the good fortune of calling both of these teams' quarterfinal games last Saturday. Those scores a little bit lopsided. I'm hoping that this one will be more competitive, and I have a feeling it will be, though. A hot start for Bateman right out the gate as they lead 7-0 on the first play of the game. Sam Davenport not only the receiver on that kickoff to run it all the way down the field, but I believe he just kicked the extra point as well.
Oh, yeah, he does it all. He does it all. He kicks, he runs, he catches. I think they even had him as a backup quarterback at some point this year. This Bateman team is on fire. The Crusaders, though, they're going to come back hot. They want to be in this. They want to be playing next week.
And they, of course, had one heck of a showing last week. They went down early in their game. I believe it was 12-0 within the game's first few minutes. They had some fumbles on 2 fumbles on the first 3 plays of the day for the Crusaders last week. But they came roaring back and just trounced the opponent in the quarterfinals on their way to this game here. So going down early, a familiar feeling for them after what they went through last year. Or last week, rather.
Yep.
And we'll see if they've got the same pushback they did last week.
Well, and I think that's number 10, Tia Nim, that's back there to receive the kick here. And he's not going to want to be showing up. I think he's going to try and duplicate what Davenport just did.
As the Timberwolves kick it away, and that one will go all the way into the end zone. Automatic touchback. The Holy Cross Crusaders will start this one on their own 20. And keep your eyes on Sam Davenport as this one goes along. He is a favored receiver.
He is.
In that Timberwolves offense as well.
He's their top receiver, but he's one of their top tacklers on defense as he plays. He's over on the corner there as well. So he's here to show in all aspects of the game today.
That is one of those things about high school ball. You've got the key players being key players on both sides of the ball. As the Crusaders go to work on offense, but can't really get it going to start the drive as Jack Lauren, who had great success last Saturday, is wrapped up at the line. I'm not sure if they picked up any yardage on that one. Likely to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he gets about a half yard there before he gets hauled backwards. Great job by the defense of getting in there and just bringing him down.
That was Phoenix Mahler, who is, of course, also the running back when it comes to the offensive side of the ball for Bateman. As we talk about guys doing it on both sides of the ball. The Holy Cross Crusaders will look to the running game once again. This time Silas Marchand, who had one heck of an afternoon last week.
He had a good block on the outside there, but he couldn't make up his mind whether to cut in or out, And I think it slowed him up a little bit. He comes on the jet sweep across. Some really good blocking on him here, and he sort of steps in there, but decides to go right to the outside. And I can't see who made the tackle there, but was able to get off their block and take him down.
Andrew Hunt, the quarterback for the Crusaders, will lead them out of the huddle.
You see, they're starting running here, but Andrew Hunt's got a huge arm. So I bet you're going to see a lot of throwing from him today.
And I think we're going to see one right here. Oh, my goodness. Pass intended there for Jack Lauren was knocked out of the air before he could bring it in. They had the right idea, but couldn't make it work.
And Lauren's upset here. He knew if he had this, he was gone. He was through the defenders, and he had a blocker out in front of him, and he was going. Great job. You see Davenport was in again on that tackle as well.
So a quick 4 and out for the Crusaders on their first possession of the game, as they will look to kick this one away. We had a game last week, Matt, where the team that came down from Prince George did not have a kicker with them. And went for it on 4th down in every situation all game long. I have a feeling teams will play it a little more conservative this week. But once again, the kick return looked like it was going to spring the Timberwolves away. That one gathered in by Ty Martins, but he's taken down before he can do too much damage with it.
Yeah, number 13, Yui Olagola here decides that he's just about had enough and he doesn't want to see them running for another score and just jumps on his back. Just takes him down hard.
That's going to be a name that we say pretty often, I believe. I was very impressed with Olagola last week, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. He is an explosive runner, and we just saw that speed help him on defense. As the Wolves, already up 7, will take the field for their first offensive drive of the game. Of course, opened with a kickoff return touchdown.
Oh, it looks like we get an injury on the far side of the field there. Number 2, Jordan Fayant is, Kikali Agbenyu was down on one knee when he walked off on his own will, so he's good.
As the Wolves look to get started here. Logan McDonald, their quarterback, hands the ball off to Phoenix Mahler. Mahler trying to run it right up the gut, but he's wrapped up by that big defensive line for the Crusaders.
Well, Mueller shows here what happens when you keep your feet moving. Like, this is great. He gets stopped. He gets hit here right at the line, but he drives and he keeps those legs going and he pushes the defender back 3 or 4 yards before he's finally taken down.
Not sure if that's a generous spot from the field crew or if he actually picked up the full 4 there, but it's 2nd and 6 as Bateman goes back to work. Logan McDonald takes the snap. He's going to look to the sky. Pass. Oh, not quite complete. He was looking for Ryan Stuhar on the right side of the field, and that one looked like it went right through the hands of Stuhar. He could not hang on to it.
Yeah, he comes back to the ball, and it just right through his hands. He's probably wishing he had that one back. I bet you Logan McDonald wished he put a bit more on it, too, get it so he didn't have to come back so far.
Well, if last week is any indication, Logan McDonald has a good many receivers that he can lean on. Stuhar, one of them, but we've already seen what Sam Davenport can do in this game as McDonald rolls out of the pocket, looking to pass again and again. Just shy of connecting with the receiver. This time, Ty Martins couldn't hang on to that one. And just like the Crusaders just had, a quick 4-and-out series as the Wolves will kick this one away.
Yeah, McDonald's going to get off to the sidelines here and talk to the quarterback coach. He's just not quite getting the ball there, but we've seen McDonald throw so many times before, and he has a great arm. So I think that's just going to shake off a little bit of nerves first thing here.
And, of course, there's always some extra nerves when you're playing under the dome. I know both of these teams were here last week, but perhaps some early jitters as they feel each other out. In the meantime, it's the Wolves who punt the ball down the field, takes a bounce backwards, and Bateman will touch it at the 22. And that is where Holy Cross will begin this next drive.
And Holy Cross, Scoring's not the biggest deal here. Getting some momentum, getting the ball, moving it down the field. They really want to sort of establish their game, pick at the defense, and see where the weaknesses are. It's a long game. There's lots of time left. I mean, being down 7-0, 14 seconds makes you a little bit nervous, but you just play your game, stick to the game plan, and Holy Cross, they're coming out here.
This is where last week's troubles kind of play in their favor. They've been through an adversity situation in this building already. They know what it takes to come back after going down early. But right now, that one run to the left side by Silas Marchand, and he hits the line no further. Maybe a pickup of one. I believe, though, that's going to be a 2nd and 10 situation.
Sorry. Yeah, he didn't get very much yardage on there.
I believe, actually, he lost half a yard.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a good block on the outside, but the defender just rolled off it, and Rhett was able to wrap him up.
Andrew Hunt, deep in the pocket, has a receiver in motion. Takes the snap, will hand it off, and they'll try to run it up the gut once again. This time, there is some room for the running game. Great little run there from Jack Lauren. He tried to find that kind of success in the game's first drive. There just weren't any holes for him, but he is a very, very talented running back, and if you give him an inch, he's going to take a mile.
Well, he tiptoes the line here. It's beautiful, but he tries to cut back in the middle, and Phoenix Muller says, okay, enough. Phoenix Muller is such a hard hitter. Wraps him up and takes him down solidly right there.
Once again, Andrew Hunt set to take the snap here for Holy Cross. The Crusaders crusading down the field. Hunt puts the ball up, and he's picked off. That one gathered in by Ty Martins. Martins, a very potent receiver on offense, and he can snag balls on defense as well as he puts his team in fine field position. 35 yards to go to the end zone for the Wolves on this next drive. But do we have a flag that's going to negate all that?
Possibly. It's interesting here. You watch the throw. The quarterback, it looked like he was aiming for the short receiver, but it was over his head, and the short receiver looked like he thought it was going to go to the deep receiver. So I think he was aiming for the first guy there, but he let it go, and I think he should have jumped up and at least knocked it down. But yeah, the ball's moved back.
So this is going to be a penalty against Bateman, but it comes after the interception.
Yeah.
So they still have possession, just set back a good many yards, nearly 20 from where they thought they were going to be. Logan McDonald feels the pressure coming, rolls out of the pocket to the right side, gets the ball in the air, and he has yet to find his first completion of the day. He was looking there for the man of the hour, Sam Davenport. Davenport couldn't quite get that one.
Well, Davenport's a tall guy, and he even jumps for this one, and it's up over his outstretched hand. So it's just a little bit too high over his head.
The receiving game was one of the strengths of this Bateman team last week, and I suspect, Matt, as this game rolls along, it's going to be a strength of theirs here today as well. But the only catch they've seen so far is a defensive interception from Ty Martins, and, of course, that kick return touchdown for Sam Davenport, the only score on the board as we sit here in the first quarter. They're going to go back to the running game now, and a very short gain on second down in the hands of Phoenix Mahler, pickup of about 2.5, third down.
You look at the season statistics, they only had 3 rushing touchdowns, but they had 9 receiving touchdowns. So you know that they've got a good throwing game, just having a little trouble clicking here to start it off. The Crusader defense has come out here strong on this drive as well to not give them any sort of room to work with.
These two teams both won by lopsided scores last week, as I mentioned, but a more tightly matched game so far here today. As the Wolves get to work on offense, 3rd and long, as McDonald puts it down the field, and his first completion is a huge one. Logan McDonald pitched that all the way down and connects with Marcus Roche. That's a first down for Bateman and then some.
He just airs it out here. Nice big ball Rosh gets deep, beats the defender, and comes in with that nice diving catch. That's highlight reel right there.
Just got in behind T. Aneem of the Crusaders, and if he hadn't had to go down as he took the ball in, he would have been clear. Logan McDonald now from the 25. Goes back to the air, to the end zone, just incomplete. He was looking for Ryan Stuhar once again, and Stuhar kicking himself as he heads back to the huddle. He was so close to putting his team up 13.
He gets good separation off the defender and gets his hands out here, but it's just off his fingertips. Yeah, he's wishing he had that one back for sure.
Maybe a touch overthrown, but pretty close.
Yeah.
Hard to get much closer than that, and we'll see if they go back to the aerial game or if Phoenix Mahler is going to try and run this one. 2nd and 10. McDonald takes the snap and has to just throw the garbage as he had 3 Crusaders closing in on him very, very quickly.
He tried to drop it down to Muller, but one of the Crusaders got their hands up there, and let's see if I can catch a number here. I think it's number 2. No, it's I can't catch that number. 25 gets his hand up in the air there and knocks it down.
It's Nosa Izodi,
yeah.
I believe. My apologies for perhaps mangling some of these names here this morning.
We're hooked on phonics. Sound it out.
3rd and 10. Bateman looking back to the sky. McDonald with the long ball, and again looking for Stuhar, but got that one away a little too quick. And credit to the defensive line for the Crusaders for putting all kinds of pressure on him and not giving him the time he wanted to perhaps finesse that ball.
He gets it down there, but Stuhar just doesn't have the speed to get down in the end zone. He had the defender beat one more time there. He's getting good separation. I mean, they're going to connect at some point here.
Are they going to go for it on 4th down? It looks like they will.
Well, it's on the Crusaders 25, so if you give it up, it's just like a kick, right?
Yeah.
And they've had it success, so go back to
McDonald rolling out of the pocket to the left side. Will put the ball in the air once again, and oh my goodness, looking for Sam Davenport in the end zone. Had it hit off his hands as well.
They're getting the plays. It's there, but they're just not finishing them here. He gets the ball up nice. Davenport gets the separation off the defender. He's all by himself in the end zone and just off his hands. A little bit high, but Davenport's got height and those big long arms that just he hits him in both hands.
Turnover on downs, which means the Holy Cross Crusaders are going to take possession here on their own 25. And they will look for a serious drive, their first of the day.
Well, they got the 1 first down so far running. Besides that, though, the Bateman defense has been very, very solid.
These two teams matching up very evenly thus far. And right out of the gate, that's Yui Olagola, who will try to run that one to the left side. He's wrapped up after a short gain of 2.
And he gets the snap here, and they just it's like he's jogging almost. He doesn't take off. He's deciding where he wants to go with the ball here. I think if he tucks that and runs a bit harder, he might have gotten about 5 yards on that play. But the defense, once again, was right there. Very
surprising after what we saw from Olagola last week. He is, as I mentioned, one of the more talented runners in this entire division. And we'll see if he warms up as the day rolls along. But right now, the Crusaders looking back to the sky, and Andrew Hunt's pass is incomplete as he was trying to connect with Caleb Dizon, but it just hit off his fingers and falls to the ground.
Dizon makes a really good effort on this ball here. He's in coverage, but he gets up there over top of the defender and just bounces it off his hands there.
Number 5, covering number 5, Jonathan O for Bateman, doing a very good job.
This Bateman D, though, is solid. I mean, last week they shut out, what was it, Prince George that came down and played them last week? They shut him out 28-0. Windsor, sorry, my bad. Windsor.
The Windsor Dukes.
Yeah.
One of last year's best teams, in fact. They were in the final. They may have even won it last season.
I think they did. I think Windsor beat Abbey in the final last year, if I remember correctly.
I believe we called that game, you and I, Matt, if I'm not mistaken.
No, we called the week before. We called the semifinal.
Right,
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. But yeah, because my son was playing for Abbotsford Senior last year, and it was Windsor that I do believe it was Windsor that beat them. And I was in the stands watching that one and crying. They had that quarterback / linebacker that just he had a great arm, but he could run and run over people. Oh, he was phenomenal.
And it was the Crusaders who were head-to-head with the Prince George Polars last week as well.
Yes.
Had the good fortune of calling both of those teams qualifying games, as I mentioned. And hard to call as you get into the late stages of a game with a lopsided score like both of those had. 28-0, as you said, against the Windsor Dukes for Bateman, and an even more lopsided score for the Crusaders as they took on Prince George. But this one, an evenly matched game so far. Two defenses who are not allowing very much, but as I say that, a big gain for the running game from the Crusaders. Jack Lauren finds a hole once again and will move the chains as he picked up close to 12 yards on the carry.
A great little swing pass here. It just gets it out to the running back in space, and he's got some room on the outside edge. Such good burst to get turned up the sideline there, get a first down, and gets out of bounds. I think he's wishing that he could have tight-roped that a little bit better and gotten up the field more.
I'm sure he'll get his chances.
I'm looking at the scores here from last week. Holy Cross beat Prince George 47-6. But I'm guessing that the lack of kicker probably gave him some good field position, eh?
They had a touchdown basically within the first couple minutes of the day, in fact. As a turnover on downs, going for it on fourth down, gave them the ball on about the 10-yard line, deep in Prince George territory. Holy Cross will look to keep this momentum going. They're in a 2nd and 13 situation as Hunt puts the ball in the air, and it just bounces off the hands of Silas Marchand. Both teams having trouble with the passing game early here. I'm not sure if it's, a little chilly under the dome, guys.
Well, it hits Marchand right at the chest, both hands, and it just bounces off. He's probably pretty frustrated about that one because those are the ones that you have to catch. And that puts him in a 3rd and long situation here. That would have been a 3rd and manageable, but this one here puts him in desperation mode.
So they're going to be looking for the long ball. Andrew Hunt deep in the pocket. Takes the snap, will look to the sky. Hunt gets the pass away, but nobody there. Closest man to it was Caleb Deason.
I think Hunt expected Deason to turn upfield a little bit sooner here. He puts it just over where they were running. I don't think he expected Deason to come that far across the field. And Hunt doubles as a kicker, I guess?
He does indeed. He will kick this one away.
Nice boot.
Yeah, some good air on that one, and it's taken in at the 40. Just as soon as he gets his hands on it, Ty Martin's wrapped up and hauled down.
I think I'd been calling for a fair catch at that point because the defender's right in his face here. 15 on 15. John Santos is right there, gets off his block nicely, and just wraps up the returner and takes him down before he can go anywhere. And what a good kick. I mean, he was way back at about the 30-yard line, and put him all the way back to their 40.
Bateman goes to work on this drive. They had all kinds of looks at the end zone on their last offensive possession. Logan McDonald takes the snap, but we've got a flag on the field. I believe that's encroachment on the part of the defense.
Yeah. Yeah, about 3 of the defensive linemen jumped there. It's going to give them a free 5 yards.
And kudos to these teams. That's the first flag we've seen so far today. I know we're about 7 minutes into the opening quarter, but discipline proved to be an issue for a lot of the games last weekend.
Yeah, those games are frustrating for coaches. You see a lot of flags on the field. You coach the kids, but once they're out there, it's up to them.
As Logan McDonald takes the snap, will hand it off to Phoenix Mahler, and he shakes a tackle. You talked earlier, Matt, about just that determination from Mahler to keep his legs moving, and it grabbed him everything on that gain. Pickup of 3 as he was wrapped up at about the line, but still rolled into a pretty significant pickup on first down.
Well, Phoenix Mahler played for the Abbotsford Falcons, and so I've seen him growing up through the ranks playing football. But then he went and played rugby as well. And you think he's good at football, you should see him out there on the rugby pitch. He just lights people up.
Certainly, from what we can tell from his football skill set, looks like those would translate pretty well, those skills. As they go back to the run here, and it's Mahler again, gets them ever so close to the first down, but just shy, maybe inches here on third down.
Half a yard at the most. Well, it keeps those wheels going. And the defender, number 60, got on his back, but just couldn't bring him down. Matt Fraser wraps him up, but can't bring him down until he's like inches away from the first down marker.
And this time they go for the QB sneak. Logan McDonald trying to run it himself as he knows he doesn't have far to go. Looks like he was able to get the ball over the line, but we'll see how they spot this one.
Yeah, they're gonna give him the spot there. He pushes forwards here, and I don't think he gets the ball off. But as he's there he goes. He crosses the line right there. As they're pulling him back, he stretches out his arms and gets the ball well over the first down mark.
So that will move the chains and give Logan McDonald and the Robert Bateman Wolves a fresh set of downs with which to work. From the 51, McDonald looks to the sky. Short pass taken in. And that one, a nice reception from Marcus Roche. Marcus Roche was the hero on the last drive. Didn't have quite the same distance there, but enough to move the chains as he picked up some good yardage after the fact.
Yeah, right through he just tucks the ball. I love how he gets his second hand over here and covers this ball up and turns upfield and just divides the defenders and pushes his way through for another first down.
2 guys there, but as you say, Matt, able to find a very narrow gap with which to pick up the first. Logan McDonald will put this one into the sky once again, but too much power on it. Marcus Roche was in the neighborhood of that ball, but not quite where he needed to be to gather it in.
Well, another one here where the receiver is kind of doing a post, but the quarterback's throwing a streak. So I'm not sure if it's a miscommunication or just can't get around the defender to get where he wants to go there.
And just the difference a week makes in terms of the defense that Logan McDonald is looking at across the way from him. He had all kinds of time to find success last week, but they are making it tough on him here today. As I say that, however, he does connect with a pass to Ty Martins, and Martins will gain close to 9 before he's forced out along the sidelines. Needs 1 more yard before the first down, and we'll see if they can get it on third here.
Well, and smart play by McDonald here. The last play, the defense got through, and even though he got the pass off, he ended up picking himself up off the ground. Here he rolls out to his left with his receiver, gets him in space, and just makes a nice connection.
2:20 to go in the opening quarter. It's the Robert Bateman Timberwolves up 7-0 on the Holy Cross Crusaders. If you're just joining us, that score came on the game's opening play. Sam Davenport on a kick return as Phoenix Mahler looks to pick up the 1 yard required for a first down, and I believe he's done it.
I'm pretty sure he's got her there, that's for sure. Great job here. He gets upended, but when the defense comes underneath and goes really low, but flips him forward, and he gets that 1 yard that he needed for the first down.
That'll move the chains once again. 1st and 10 from the 29. As Logan McDonald, he's got quite a good range on his arm, and I think he can find the end zone from here if their last possession is any indication. McDonald takes the snap, will get the ball away immediately to Ty Martins, who's pushed out along the sidelines after a gain of about 6, 2nd and 4.
Well, smart job here by Bateman. I mean, I can see why they got a shutout last week. Is not only is their defense really solid, but the offense is just marching, eating clock, marching the ball, not rushing things, and making some smart plays here.
I believe they're going to try and pick up another set of downs as opposed to going deep, but you never know.
Well,
it certainly looks like they're lined up for a pass here as McDonald takes the snap, gets it away, It's deflected and nearly intercepted.
Number 11, TJ Fujimura, wishes he had that one back because as he was coming to the left, the ball was just to his right. Great job by the D-line here. Number 13 gets his hands up, bounces off his arm, and Fujimura just can't pick it up.
McDonald was looking to connect with Ryan Stuhar once again, but as you said, great work from the defense. I believe that was Yui Olagola who was able to deflect that one as McDonald once again looks skyward and connects to Marcus Roche. And that's a first down, Bateman.
The corner on that side gave Roche quite the cushion, and we've seen Roche catch it up. That you don't want to do that, that's for sure. And he's pretty much undefended here, sitting by himself there. And if he could have stayed on his feet, he probably could have made a play.
1st and 10 from the 15 as we've seen Logan McDonald looking for more short yardage passes as opposed to the deep balls that they were trying for on their last possession. We'll see if that helps them find the end zone. As McDonald takes the snap and will hand the ball off. Run, 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 run. That's Ryan Stuhar, and he breaks the plane. Touchdown, Robert Bateman.
They laid some hits on him, but they just keep bouncing him more outside. There was no one in front of him, and he dove into the end zone.
That's actually Andres Guzman. I thought it was number 7.
Oh, it's number 1.
Number 1 instead, as Stuhar was getting a lot of looks as a receiver, but it's number 1, Andres Guzman.
Last-ditch tackle effort here by number 5, but he just can't bring him down.
He gets the ball out as he goes down, too, to make sure he breaks the plane.
Yep. Smart football play right there.
Running touchdown for Bateman as they extend their lead to 14. The extra kick is good. And I don't believe I called the name Andres Guzman once last week, so a big play for him.
Yeah. No, that was a phenomenal jet sweep. And like I said, the defenders hit him, but they didn't wrap him up. They just kept bouncing him out more, and he stayed on his feet, and he just kept running. If you're not going to wrap him up and take him down, he's going to take all the yards you give him.
Bateman with a pretty sizable contingent of fans here in BC Place Stadium this morning as well as we get into the afternoon. Not quite, still 11:30 this morning, but folks, if you're watching online, you're in the Vancouver area, we do encourage you to come on down and try to take in these games. Once you're in the building, well, you only need to pay for admittance once and you get to stick around all day long. 3 more games on deck after this one here on semifinal Saturday.
Well, and the highlight game tonight is going to be that Terry Fox New West game. That's going to be phenomenal.
The Hayeks somehow pulled it off against Lord Tweedsmuir, ranked number 1 coming into this tournament last week. So quite the upset, but I guess you should never count out that New West team.
No, and same with Terry Fox. I mean, I watched Notre Dame take it to Mowat 2 weeks ago, and I figured for sure Notre Dame was going to be heading towards the finals. They looked so good. Everything was on point. Terry Fox just destroyed them last week.
So a meeting of 2 juggernauts later on this evening as we get into the AAA games, but we're still here in the AA semis. First of 2 straight semifinals. The next one coming up at 1:30 after this game comes to a conclusion. So if you can't be here in the building, we've got you covered all day long on SportsCanada.TV. As the Crusaders go back to the running game as they begin this drive. And Jack Lauren picks up about 4 before he's wrapped up and hauled down. Actually, they're going to call it 5, 2nd and 5.
Well, Lauren's a bit upset. He got grabbed by the back of the jersey and yanked down there. But it wasn't enough to be a horse collar. But I think he's a little bit upset that there wasn't a call there. And he gets pulled down hard.
Nice little shovel pass from Andrew Hunt to start that play off as well. 2nd down as Hunt prepares for the snap. He takes it. throws out to the right side to Jack Lauren again. Or excuse me, that was Silas Marchand. And Marchand will pick up enough yardage on that reception to move the chains. Tackled by Sam Davenport.
Again, Marchand here just gets forward, drives those legs. Davenport actually hit him about 3 yards back. But Marchand all his body momentum was forward. He was bent over the ball. Great job of keeping driving those legs. That's the end of the first quarter.
After the opening 12 minutes in this one, it's all Robert Bateman on the board early, as the Holy Cross Crusaders really yet to even get anywhere near the end zone. I don't believe they've had really a single drive that's taken them into enemy territory so far today.
I don't think so either. I mean, they got close to the 50 on one of the drives, but I mean, that was about it.
There looks like a pretty serious size discrepancy between these two teams, Matt, and I don't mean that as a slight against Bateman, because obviously the guys who are a little bit more diminutive in stature can always be a little more shifty, have a little more speed to them, but that might be playing into what we've seen so far today, because the key weapons for this Holy Cross team when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, none of them are particularly big guys.
No, they're not. But they're fast, and they know how to work hard. We saw that with Marchand there. He got both hands on the ball, got his shoulders over top of the ball, and kept driving his legs. He was able to move forward. And it's not always the size, but it's the way that what you do with your size.
Jack Lauren, a good example of that as well, is he's a key cog in this offense.
I think the O-line for the Crusaders is doing an excellent job. They're getting a lot of time for the quarterback, Hunt, to do what he wants to do with the ball. It's just, they've got to complete these passes, and they got to get these runs going.
Andrew Hunt deep in the pocket. He's going to hand that one away to Silas Marchand. Marchand will cut out to the left side. Found some nice room, but eventually pushed out the sidelines after a gain of either 6 or 7, but a pretty nice start to this set of downs, as that's a significant gain on first down. Marchand, though, going to head straight to the sidelines after that.
Just doing a head count down there. I think they were short a player on that play. It looked like they had number 80 out at tight end, but they didn't have a tackle in there.
Interesting.
Oh, no, they got 11 out there now.
2nd and 4. Hunt gets the pass away. Not sure who his intended receiver was on that one. Perhaps Yui Olagola.
I think he was throwing it to Yui Olagola, but Olagola hadn't gotten turned around when the ball was there. He comes out there and he squares up like he's going to do a hook, but he just wasn't ready for the ball, and it was already past him before he got to his spot.
Ball was away, as you mentioned there, before he had turned around, as they will try for better luck on 3rd down. Andrew Hunt.
We got quite the fans down here in the stands here. We got a couple guys with shirtless, just wolf pelts over their shoulders.
And that's a nice pickup for Holy Cross. The ball came loose in the end, but I believe they're going to say it was dead already. Yui Olagola, the ball carrier on that one, and he will run it for the first down, but we've got a man down now for Bateman. I believe that is Jordan Fayant.
Olagola comes forward, and as he's coming down, it looked like the ball came loose before he was down, but they're going to call him down by contact there because he was on his way to the ground when it was going. But one of the Crusaders was right there on the spot to pick it up and take off running.
It's Jonathan O, who is the injured man for Bateman on that play. But he heads to the sidelines on his own volition and gets a nice little round of applause from the crowd. And yeah, you're right. There are some just excellent costumes in this crowd here today.
He's got the D and the fence out and everything.
as the War Boys just out in full force for Robert Bateman here this morning. Andrew Hunt's pass incomplete. Knocked to the ground by Sam Davenport, who was hoping to come up with an interception on that play, but he's already made quite an impression on this game and the scoreboard as well. Davenport went the full distance on the game's opening kickoff.
Well, good job at number 11, TJ Fujimara there, to get his hand out and knock the ball down. He saw that it wasn't coming to him to catch it, so he stuck his hand out and just smacked it to the ground.
2nd and 10. Hunt. Oh.
Just off his back shoulder.
Caleb Dyson, the intended receiver, and he looked like he was going to gather that one in, but took some contact before he could fully wrap up the ball.
Hunt puts it on the back shoulder here, and he reaches back for it, and it looks like he had a shot at it, but then Davenport just lights him up.
3rd and 10, as Andrew Hunt, no choice here but to go for a long pass, as they need some yards to come up with a first and keep this drive going. Andrew Hunt will peel back in the pocket, roll out to the right side, puts the ball in the air, and he was hoping to connect with Tia Neem, but that one will head to the sidelines instead, incomplete.
Yeah.
And you have to think the Crusaders are going to kick this one away on 4th down.
Yeah, they don't want to give up the ball in their own territory. I think if they are over the 50-yard line, they may want to go for it. It's a trend that's going around. You see it lots, CFL, NFL, junior football. As long as you're in the enemy territory, go for it on 4th, 3rd down, CFL. But I think here they should be punting.
And a tough start to the day for this Crusaders offense, who, as we said, had great success last week, but had a hard time thus far of marching the ball downfield.
Well, head coach David Mills, he also doubles as the defensive coordinator here, is a great football brain. And, I mean, this is why this Bateman team has been doing so well last year and then again this year, is that Mills gets them all buying into what he's got going, and they just do a great job of executing it.
As the Wolves going to start this one from their own 35. And their defense has just been rock solid, as you mentioned, Matt.
Yeah.
A real difference maker in this game at this point. And it's, as we said a little earlier in the broadcast, a lot of the same guys who are getting it done on offense for the Wolves are also their key contributors on defense. So very complete effort from a lot of these guys. As Phoenix Mahler tries to run that one up the gut, he's wrapped up at the line and stopped before he can pick up any gain. 2nd and 10.
Oh, wow, he didn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage there. Oh, just barely.
Logan McDonald takes the snap. All kinds of time in the pocket. Will put that one downfield, but just overthrown as he was looking to connect with Ty Martins. But the defender was a little closer to gathering that one, and Caleb Dyson in perfect position to perhaps snag it. It'll fall harmlessly incomplete instead. 3rd and 10 situation. So McDonald likely to go back to the sky. See if he goes as deep as their last play. He needs yardage to keep this drive alive. McDonald, feeling all kinds of pressure, gets the ball away. Complete to Martins, but Martins pushed out of bounds on the near side. And just a short gain of about 4 will bring up 4th down, 4th and 6 to go. So it'll be the punting team coming in to kick this one away, Sam Davenport.
Number 11, TJ Fujimara, does a great job closing on the receiver right after the catch, wrapping him up and taking him out of bounds. He's had a really good game so far today. He's been around the ball a lot on defense.
We were just crediting the Robert Bateman defense. You got to give credit to the Holy Cross D on this possession as well, because they really gave Logan McDonald nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 7 of these 14 points was on the opening kickoff, and they've only had one really solid drive. Aside from that, Holy Cross defense has been all over this Bateman offense.
The Crusaders now going to start this next drive from their own 19. From their own 17 round.
17, yeah, rolled back there good. And it's smart of the Wolves just to let it roll, stay with it, and Crusaders aren't going to touch it at that point when it's on the ground and surrounded by Wolves.
Holy Cross really just needs one big drive to get them back in this game. They haven't had one yet. As we mentioned earlier, they have yet to engineer a drive that puts them into offensive territory, really, in the Robert Bateman side of the field, I mean to say. But we'll see if this is the one, as Andrew Hunt quickly gets that pass away, and it's complete. He connects with Silas Marchand. Marchand picks up about 5.
Yeah, he was driven back pretty good there. It looked like he got taken down on the 19-yard line there, but he made it up to the 22 before he was driven backwards.
2nd and 5, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 2nd and 6. 2nd and 5.
Yeah.
Andrew Hunt takes the snap. Nice little shovel pass to get it away, and a good pickup once again from Jack Lauren. Might not be enough to move the chains, but then again, it might be. It is.
Just enough. Great job here by is that Marchand?
Jack Lauren.
Jack Lauren gets out there and just jumps through the defenders and knows he's got to drive himself forward. He knows where he has to get that ball to, and he does a great job of getting it there.
Lauren had game-breaking ability last Saturday, had some real definitive, explosive, big-time runs down the field. This time it's Silas Marchand who takes the handoff. He tries to cut to the inside after running along the line, and it's a short pickup, maybe gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
Well, he's running out of options to get turned up the field there, and you can see all the defenders had the outside edge sealed off. So a smart move here. He gets a bit of a gap, makes himself skinny, drives forward, but then there is the wall that is Phoenix Muller to take him down.
And as we were saying earlier, neither running back for this team, the Crusaders, really very big. Both Marchand and Jack Lauren, very diminutive, but very shifty, very elusive. And they are looking for that one big play from their running game today. 2nd and 8, however, they'll go to the sky. As Hunt puts the ball way downfield, a little too far downfield, was hoping to connect with Tia Neem, but just overthrew him a little bit.
And Tia Neem pulls up here and then realizes when he looks up at the ball that it's going a lot further than he ran. So he needed to get back on his horse there. When you lose your momentum like that, it makes it really difficult. And it looks like we got an injury on the field. We got one number 55 on the Wolves.
Jordan Baum.
Looks like he's down on a knee there.
He's a key part of this defense.
Yeah, he's
said his name several times last week as he was coming up with all kinds of tackles, knocking balls out of the air as well. And he is hobbled, not putting any weight whatsoever on his right leg, as teammates now come out onto the field to help him make it back to the sideline.
Well, I noticed they were working on him on the trainer bench a little bit earlier, and he got up and he did some moves on the sideline here. I don't know if he maybe heard it earlier, and then they did a bit of work, and he tried to go back in, but now it doesn't look like he's going very much further today.
You never like to see that.
No. I mean, they've got the lead right now. If the team can hold on to it, he gets to play again next week, but right now, you know, you worry about your long-term health.
Right now, however, it's the Crusaders worrying about getting down the field, but they're picked off. Sam Davenport with the interception, and he cuts back up the field with speed. Looking left, he's gathered in by the intended receiver. That's T. Aneem able to wrap up the legs of Sam Davenport and haul him down from behind. Davenport, my goodness, when he takes off, the momentum that this guy has, he is a force to be reckoned with out there on the field.
Such drive. I mean, he just gets the ball and he's gone. Great job to get up there and pick it off, too. Gets the ball at the highest point, brings it in, tucks it away. And right away, he's running. Hit the ground, and he was already in stride.
One of the taller players as well, so such long strides when he hits top speed. Look out. We already saw him find the end zone on a kick return touchdown. The first play of the game, he had Bateman on the board just 7 seconds in to the opening quarter as one of these teams calls timeout, and I believe it's the Holy Cross Crusaders. Or Timberwolves, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it was the Wolves. I saw Logan McDonald coming away from the huddle there, call the timeout, and then touch himself in the chest. I don't think he liked what he saw on the field, the defense. I don't think he liked the play that they were calling there. So regroup, talk about it, come up to a decision.
We were talking about their fans with the drums wearing furs in the front row. He's got another peek at these guys as they tried to get the crowd fired up. They are all out. Dyed hair, face paint, and everything. What a showing from the Bateman faithful here today.
I'm not even sure if he has hair. I think he may just painted his bald skull there. But the one beside him's got his face painted.
Entirely possible.
Yeah.
As Logan McDonald will start this drive. Interesting trick play. Maybe that's why they called the timeout. As Bateman connects down the field to Ryan Stuhar, his first completion of the day, but it didn't come from Logan McDonald. McDonald right out of the snap threw that one to the right side. It was gathered in by Ty Martins behind the line of scrimmage, and it's Martins who looks downfield, finds Stuhar at the 20, and he's able to pick up another 10 before he's hauled down.
Well, and number 5, Caleb Dyson, comes out of the safety position and just wraps up an ankle and makes him drag him about 5 feet before his teammates can come over there and help wrap him up.
And Stuhar continued to hop down the field on one leg. Just a determined effort as he got inside the 10-yard line. It's a 1st and goal situation from the 6.
That was a huge battle of wills there. That's
so
for sure.
Stuhar picked up an extra 14 after taking that ball in, and at least 5 of those yards were with Caleb Dyson just hanging off the back of him.
1 foot.
He's been waiting all day for a play like that. Ryan Stuhar, a favored target of Logan McDonald, and thus far, every time they've tried to go to him, it's been incomplete. Not that time.
No, they had him there. Had him there. And I think, now the Bateman wants to get this one in the end zone. Time's ticking away in the second quarter here. Well, it's still 6 minutes. I mean, we're only halfway through it. But they want, offensive coordinator Lance McDonald there wants to make sure that he gets this into the end zone.
A little early in the game to be busting out trick plays like that, I'd think, but it certainly worked, so you can't question the call. As Logan McDonald takes the snap, will hand it off, and Sam Davenport tries to cut up the middle. Davenport has 5 Crusaders on top of him as he's finally taken down about 1 yard shy of the end zone.
And number 75, Blake Stevenson's going to be mad at himself on this one. He had Davenport in the backfield, gets off his block, wraps him up here, and goes to pull him down, but Davenport just gets out from it and then drives forward, picks up about 6 yards after he's touched.
We were talking about trick plays in terms of the pass play that got them in this field position, as Logan McDonald now hauled down for a sack. To give the ball to Davenport in that situation, something of a trick play as well, because I don't believe they had a single guy run the ball outside of a QB sneak from McDonald himself, other than Phoenix Mahler last week.
Yeah. He just gets mauled here, too.
So 2 consecutive unexpected play calls, and it's got Bateman in prime position, but they're back on the 7 now after that sack, and they're going to call timeout once again to make sure, as you said, Matt, make sure this one finds the end zone and they don't come up just shy.
Yeah. I think they're on, 3rd down here, but they got the ball back out at the 6. So I'm wondering if there might have been a penalty on that play that we missed here. Because Davenport drove it to the 1, but they've got the ball spotted on the 6.
Oh, there was the Logan McDonald was sacked on.
Right, the next play.
On the
Sorry,
next play.
my bad.
All
my
good.
Bad.
But you have to think, even if they don't get it on third, they're going to go for it on fourth again.
Yeah.
So 2 tries to crack the end zone unsuccessful. And they've got 2 more, trying to make sure they get the best of these efforts. As rare to see a team use their timeouts in a situation like this when they're up 14-0. But I guess when you're not just in the red zone, but in prime scoring position, you want to make sure it counts.
Oh, there you go.
They do just that. Logan McDonald complete to Sam Davenport. He's got his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Yeah. Just a rocket of a shot here by McDonald as well. Great throw, and Davenport hauls it in, no problem.
Short yardage pass for McDonald, but as you say, he made sure that one was going nowhere but straight to Sam Davenport.
Those long arms of Davenport, he just gets him out there, pulls it in, and tucks it away.
Makes it look easy, too, really.
Yeah.
And the Holy Cross Crusaders will tell you it is not. Extra point is away, and it is good. Bateman up 21-0 here in the second quarter. 5:41 remaining in the opening half. It's been all Wolves thus far.
Well, you know the Crusaders got to get back into this game. They want to play next week too. They're going to have to do something here on offense. They've got to figure out this defense.
Especially before the end of the half.
Yeah.
It is so much different to go back to the locker room with points on the board than to still be trying to find the secret to cracking this Bateman defense. They're in a hole right now, but you're going to feel a lot better about yourself at halftime if that hole is 14 and not 21.
Exactly. And to crack the defense would just give them some confidence. They haven't been able to do a whole lot. They've had a couple of good marches and then turnover, right? A couple of good marches, but
kick it away.
Exactly. So they got to do something with it here. That boot by Davenport.
One of the few guys who can kick it the full distance.
Well, okay, so Sam Davenport played for me in Adams. He's 8, 9-year-olds, right?
Okay.
And he started kicking then. He loved it then. And then he played 1 year of Adams and then left for a year and then came back. And he loved to kick. His dad, James Davenport, and him would be down at the Bateman field kicking field goals at 10 years of age. And he's kicking 30-yard field goals, right? A huge boot on him. He played defense for us. He was a defensive back as well. But we are kicking field goals in Pee Wee. No one kicks field goals in Pee Wee, but Davenport could.
No, almost nobody kicks field goals even in high school.
And to watch that leg like that, I just love seeing that.
When you couple it with the game he's having as a receiver and a defensive player here today,
wow.
I'm sure there are just all kinds of scouts, university, collegiate, and otherwise, just licking their chops watching the game he is putting on here this morning.
Yeah, he for sure. If they're not already talking to him, they're probably too far behind.
As this Holy Cross offense is pushed back before the drive even begins. I'm not sure if we missed an offside flag there, Matt, but they are 1st and 15.
Yeah, there's a procedure penalty there.
Hunt takes the snap at his own 10. Looks out to the left side, is able to connect with T. Aneem, but Aneem only gets about 2 yards on the carry before he's brought down.
Well, number 5, Jonathan O, comes downhill really quick here and wipes his legs out from underneath him. Doesn't even bother wrapping up, just take the feet out from underneath him. They can't run without their feet.
As Jonathan O was one of the players who took a bad bump earlier. Focus of an injury timeout earlier in this game. Back out on the field, and that's always good to see. Crusaders now 2nd and 13. Hunt takes the snap. And I'm not sure, are they going to call that an incomplete pass?
Yeah, he was about a step or two ahead of him. And just a low and not really a catchable ball here. So Hunt turns around, and he fires it probably directly across. But
from our perspective, that looked like a lateral.
Yeah.
Very borderline in terms of whether that was going to count as a fumble or not. Ryan Stuhar doing his best to hop on top of it, thinking it might be. They are going to call it an incomplete pass, however, and it's 3rd and 13. Andrew Hunt going to look skyward on this one. Has some time, gets the ball away, and just shy of Tianim. And again, the Bateman defense just giving this Crusaders offense all kinds of trouble.
Well, it looked like Hunt there once again. He was debating between his short receiver and his deep receiver, and puts it right in the middle, or in between the two of them. He's going to get back here to punt on this one, but he's got to get settled down and know where he wants to put that ball.
And so another drive for the Crusaders comes to an early end as they will be forced to kick this one away. Some good height on the ball, but not perhaps the distance they might like, as that one's going to go out of bounds at about the 30. And the Robert Bateman Wolves going to start this drive in a very fortuitous position.
Well, yeah, and this is definitely don't want to go down 4 scores before the half. The defense is going to have to make a big stand here. Bateman's offense, they've been good, but they haven't been perfect, so the defense can stop them. And if they want to not get too much further in the hole, they're going to have to. Just watching out here, they're just taking a look in the stands, and we've got quite a good crowd out here, that's for sure. But head coach David Mills for the Wolves also coaches community ball. He coaches his son in Adams. And I see a bunch of the young guys from the Adams team. Oh, there goes Phoenix Muller.
Phoenix Muller just making something out of nothing. Looked like he was going to get wrapped up at the line. Instead, that's a 15-yard carry right up the gut.
Rips right out of those hands and just keeps driving. And they try to take out his legs, and they can't even do that. Massive legs that he has that just keep pounding.
Finally, it's Jack Lauren, the star runner for the Crusaders, who's able to take him down. Now Logan McDonald tries to get that one away. He was trying to connect with Marcus Rosh.
There's a little hand fighting between Rosh and Tianim there. Anim that the rest just let it go. Where the two of them are kind of pushing and shoving and hanging off each other.
Marcus Rosh looking to the ref for a call after it, but no call coming.
Yeah, Anim was looking for a call too. So I think they both had a case, so they just one eliminates the other.
2nd and 10 from the 15. As the Wolves already back in the red zone. Logan McDonald looking to the end zone. Gets the ball away. Pass complete to Mahler. Phoenix Mahler finds the end zone. A good little run after taking the ball in. A nice reception, a better carry, and Phoenix Mahler gets Bateman on the board again.
Wow, just drops it down to Mahler here. Mahler turns around, beats the defender there, gets around a second defender, just tries to shove him out of bounds, and does a little tiptoe just around the pylon.
They started this drive at the 30, and all 30 yards were picked up by Phoenix Mahler.
Great job on the footwork there, getting into the end zone.
Just dancing along the sidelines. Incredible stuff. And the point after kick.
Oh,
no good. Hit off the bar and stayed out. But a big 27-point lead on the board that favors the Wolves. As Holy Cross has 4:04 on the clock left in the half with which to work.
Well, and Bateman can't get complacent here. There's a reason why they're playing Holy Cross, and it's because Holy Cross is a good team. And that coach, especially if they get into that locker room at halftime, is going to get those kids marching. And I think we're going to see some good football, a good fight here in the second half.
Always see teams making adjustments as they come out of the rooms into the third quarter as well. And this is not a Crusaders team that is that far out of sync. They just are a little bit off in their timing here in the first half. And there's still lots of time for them to get back in it.
Well, they got number 5, Caleb Dizon, all the way back at the goal line because of that big boot of Sam Davenport.
Another huge boot from Davenport. Dyson will take it in and run upfield. He cuts to the left side, back into the middle. Now back out right. Dyson, he's free and clear. Caleb Dyson up the sidelines, finally forced out at the 40. Do we have a flag on the play?
Way back at about the 13-yard line there. There's a block in the back. That's going to be coming back all the way.
Oh.
So he comes off and he takes off here, and just out of sight of the camera there, right there. I think it was number 10 laid a hit there and just didn't need to either. Dyson had that guy beat, and yeah.
Aneem with an illegal block, and your heart breaks for Holy Cross because that is the biggest offensive play they have had in this game by far.
Yeah.
That would have been the first drive of the day for the Crusaders inside enemy territory as Dyson was forced out at the Bateman 40. Yep. And instead, this offense marches all the way back down the field and will have to begin in a very dangerous spot. They are at their own 7-yard line. And suddenly surrendering a safety is not out of the question.
No. Great run by Dyson, though. Really shows his skill in finding some lanes there, moving around in traffic. Fabulous running there.
Some great jukes as he cut back and forth across the field trying to find the openings. And instead, way back at the 7. 1st and 10. Andrew Hunt going to take this snap pretty well on his own goal line. Hunt will hand the ball off, and the Crusaders will run it up the middle. Nice pickup from Silas Marchand. Will pick up a first down and get that ball out of danger territory. No fear of surrendering a safety where they are now.
No, not at all. And Marchand just tucks his shoulders and takes what's open there.
That was an 18-yard pickup for Silas Marchand. Ball was on the 7, now the 25.
Yeah, and like I said, the Crusaders are here for a reason. So they're going to come hard at this point. They, number one, don't want to be embarrassed. Number two, they want to play next week.
Andrew Hunt will take the snap and try to run it himself. He's wrapped up by not 1, not 2, but 3 Wolves and brought to the ground for a loss of maybe 2.
Well, the fake to Lauren here, no one bought it. They just didn't sell it well enough. I think he was hoping that number 7, Stuzer, would come off of him and give him a gap to run up, but Stuzer saw that the whole way, did not bite.
2nd and 11. So only a loss of 1 on the sack. As you have to think Andrew Hunt will look to pass on this one. Nope, they look back to the running game, but it's a fumble and recovered by Bateman. A Robert Bateman ball on the 24. And I hate to say that might be the game, but if the Wolves are able to add another touchdown, this might be too much for the Crusaders to overcome.
Well, I think so too. And it's one of the problems with the read option at this level is that when you're doing the read option, it's an instantaneous thought, and if you change your mind, things go awry. Hunt there looked to put the ball in his arms, then maybe try to pull it back, or maybe he was trying to keep it, and in the last second decided to give it to the running back. And either way you look at it, it ended up on the ground.
As Phoenix Mahler will carry the ball up the middle for the Wolves. Ball down at the 15 after a gain of about 5.
Yeah, and you see frustration starting to show a bit here. Mahler gets the ball here, and I don't see you can see the Wolves throw at all here going forward, and gets taken down hard to the ground and then gets kind of reefed on a bit.
Phoenix Mahler instrumental in the last touchdown for Bateman. As we mentioned, it was a 30-yard drive. All 30 belonged to Mahler. 1 15-yard carry, 1 15-yard catch. As they go back to Mahler again, and he rolls off a tackle, and we'll find the end zone once more. He is just such an impressive runner, Phoenix Mahler, and he shows you exactly why, again, his ability to break tackles is quite something to see.
I just love this here, how low he gets on this defender that tries to just shoulder him and not wrap him up. You got to get down underneath and take his feet out from anything. Even the guy that was underneath got a hold of an ankle briefly as Muller rolled out of it.
And you're right, Matt. That's TJ Fujimura, who is the defensive player that Mahler runs into. He gets so low and has so much speed on him as he hits that tackle that it's almost an offensive tackle. He's the one who sends Fujimura to the ground.
Yep.
Incredible stuff from Mahler. And he extends the lead to 33 for Bateman. I think they were going to go for 2 on that play, and the Holy Cross Crusaders, perhaps not prepared for that, call timeout and will readjust in the huddle.
Well, you know, we got 2 minutes left in the half here. Crusaders really got a lot of work ahead of them. They got to just put this behind them and come out here in the second half firing on all cylinders. They've shown a lot of promise. Their plays are there. They're just not executing. So they got to go back into the locker room, come up with a game plan, and come out here and hit it.
Head coach Conrad DeGo talking it over with his troops during the timeout. As DeGo heads back to the sidelines, and the Holy Cross Crusaders will look to stop this Bateman offense from picking up 2 points as they look to redeem themselves after missing a point after attempt on the last touchdown. That'll do it.
Yep.
Marcus Roche with the catch. 2 points on the board. 35-0 score that favors Bateman. 2 minutes to go in the opening half. And this is just real impressive stuff from Robert Bateman.
Well, like I said, head coach David Mills gave them a challenge. They bought into it, and they're living up to it. That's for sure. This has been very impressive, the way they've come out here and executed today. They had the early game jitters, missed a bunch of their passes, but since then it's just been excellent execution.
Bateman, as we mentioned in the quarterfinals last Saturday, were up against the Windsor Dukes and won that one by a score of 28-0. Here today, got 2:01 remaining in the second quarter. They're already up 35-0. Yet to surrender a single touchdown here in BC Place Stadium. Very, very impressive. And this time it's a short kick. Gathered in by John Santos, and he's hauled down hard.
This is probably the best starting field position for the Crusaders so far today.
That was actually Jack Lauren, number 22, my mistake.
No, they both wanted a shot at that ball.
Actually, it was John Santos.
Santos ended up with it. Lauren both wanted it as well.
Lauren just standing there watching that all happen, too, I believe, as he saw Santos take the ball in. Well, he wasn't going to go very far. Andrew Hunt will begin this drive. Takes the snap, hands the ball off to Jack Lauren. Lauren breaks a tackle, pushed out of bounds, however, after a pickup of, if not the full 10, then certainly 9 yards. It's going to be close to a first down, though.
Yeah, we got one guy right on the marker, one guy just short of. Yeah, no, it's going to be a first down. Good job by Lauren to figure out where he had to go, where he had to get out of bounds, get those sticks and keep them moving, stop the clock.
And yeah, getting out of bounds at this point, very important to stop the clock. As you mentioned there, Matt, just 1:48 remaining in the half.
Yep.
1st and 10 from the 42. Holy Cross going right back to work, running it up the gut. And another fine pickup from Jack Lauren. They're going to find success in this game. They need to get back to basics a little bit here.
Well, that's exactly where they go in here. You go to your strengths, and that's give the ball to your fast guys, give them a hole, and let them run right up it here.
Jack Lauren and Silas Marchand, 2 of the key players that got this team through the quarterfinals last week. They're going to be the keys if Holy Cross wants to climb back in it.
Yeah.
But Jack Lauren now heading to the sidelines after 2 consecutive carries lead to 2 consecutive first downs. As they'll hand the ball off again, back to the line, but no further for Silas Marchand, 2nd and 10.
Well, they didn't get the hole in the middle that they had the last two plays here, so Marchand tries to step it outside, and he goes right into the defender here. And I think it's number 7 that gets that. Oh, no, he just pushes him out too. Didn't catch that number there. Oh, big run.
Pass complete to Jonathan Tekawa. And that will move the chains. I believe Tekawa found the sidelines as well, because that's the trouble when you run it up the gut, Matt. Not only did they not find the yardage they wanted there, but the clock kept rolling the entire time.
Yeah.
Pickup of about 15 on the reception. Jonathan Tekawa moved the chains and stopped the clock as Andrew Hunt goes to the sky once again, and another pickup of 10 will move the chains. But time ticking down in quarter number 2. This has been the best drive that the Crusaders have engineered all day long thus far. Just 30 seconds remaining here in the half as they're at the 25. First time all day they've been inside Robert Bateman territory, and they're just outside the red zone, knocking on the door now with 22 seconds to go. Pass incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Well, that's a beneficial pass incomplete because, like you said, the clock was ticking down. They're down to 22 seconds here. Hunt was smart there. If he had an obvious completion that could have gotten out of bounds, yeah, he's going to throw it there. Otherwise, throw it in the dirt, stop the clock, have a chance to talk about what play you want to run here.
They've been picking up at least 10 yards on nearly every play of this drive. We'll see if they've got a couple more big ones in them with 22 seconds left. Andrew Hunt takes the snap, puts the ball in the air, and oh my, nearly picked off by Anders Guzman.
Andrew just couldn't get enough on that ball there. Guzman was inside a lot. Number 5, Caleb Dizon, was out on the outside edge. If he could have gotten a bit more on that ball and got it to the outside edge, I think Dizon would have had a touchdown there.
Third and 10 from the 24. 17 seconds remaining. As we'll see if Andrew Hunt continues to try to go to the long ball with time ticking down in the half. Hunt puts the ball up. Pass complete, but just knocked out of the hands of Tianim. He couldn't hang on to it after gathering it in over the middle.
He just gets crushed once he catches this ball here. He does a great job to get his hands on it and bring it in, but just can't hold on to it. And it's number 15, I do believe, Ty Martin's there.
Ty Martin's, who had a big interception back in the first quarter, coming up with another key defensive play with just 11 seconds to go in the second.
Well, smart play here is put somebody out of bounds right at the first down marker, and then the rest of them in the end zone and take a shot.
Andrew Hunt takes the snap. 4th and 10. Hunt, feeling all kinds of pressure, gets the ball away. Nearly picked off by Sam Davenport as he was looking to connect with Yui Olagola.
Yeah.
And a turnover on downs will put the ball back in the hands of Bateman with just 6 seconds to go in the half.
Oh, Olagola just about had that too. Great job by Davenport to come in, just throw his body at that ball and knock it down. So I don't think Bateman's going to do much but kneel the ball down here. 6 seconds left. Just kill the clock. Go into the locker room up 35-0.
Avoid an injury.
Yeah.
May as well. And they do just that. Logan McDonald will kneel and let the clock run down here in the opening half. Bateman with a big lead after 2 quarters, 35-0. They have to be thrilled as they head back to the locker room. But Matt, as a coach yourself, Holy Cross probably feeling pretty down on themselves as they head back to the room.
And they do. And what they got to do is they got to keep their energy up here. They got to keep their attitude positive. They got to come back out here in the second half and fight.
They didn't get that touchdown on the final drive to end out the half, but just the fact that they were able to get some momentum going on offense, the fact that they were able to make plays, how key is that in just keeping the spirits up as they head into the third quarter?
Massive, because now the coaches are going to go out there. It's going to factor into their game plan for the second half is with the drives up the middle is just keep pushing the ball up the middle, push the ball up the middle, make Bateman stop you, right? Because they were marching, no problem, 10 yards of carry. with driving it up the middle. I don't know why they weren't doing that earlier. They're seeming to try and get chunk plays, but what they want to do in the second half is just keep driving that ball.
We will see if they can successfully do that. My name is Justin Morissette. He is Matt Macri. It is the road to the Subway Bowl, the 2018 BC High School Football Championships. Robert Bateman up big on Holy Cross, 35-0 at the half. You folks at home, go make yourself a Dagwood sandwich. We'll talk to you before too long here with the second half in today's semifinal action. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you again in about 15 minutes' time. 13:40, in fact. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back inside BC Place Stadium for the second half of today's opening game on semifinal Saturday between the Robert Bateman Timberwolves and the Holy Cross Crusaders. My name is Justin Morissette. He is Matt Macri. And Matt, as we come back to the second half, Bateman up big 35-0. We saw before teams getting lined up for this kickoff to start the half, the Holy Cross Crusaders were practicing their field goal game, getting some kicks away from about the 30.
Well, they got to get some points on the board here, and they got to get them on fast. So however you do that, it doesn't matter. I think maybe they thought about maybe trying it just before the end there, but weren't too confident. Get a couple in and get confidence up.
So we'll see if they go that route at any point here today, but right now it's Caleb Dyson who tried to repeat the magic he had towards the end of the first half. In the dying minutes of the second quarter, Dyson had an incredible run that took him probably to about the 40 inside Bateman territory. It was all wiped out by a penalty flag, unfortunately, but he gets to the 18, and that is where the Crusaders will start this drive. And as we were saying towards the end of the half, you know, they're not on the board, Matt, but they do have reasons to feel good about how they ended that second quarter.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting some positive yardage. They marched it down into the Wolves' end for the first time today, and they're going to go right back to what was working. Run it up the middle.
And they go right back to that well here to start the third, but it's a short gain in the hands of Jack Lauren, who will take them to about the 22, pickup of 4, 2nd and 6.
They can get that gap on the D-line and get the player up to second level. That's exactly what they want to do.
This time they go back to the sky, and it's Andrew Hunt who can't quite connect with his intended receiver. I believe he was looking for Caleb Dyson, but just couldn't find him.
No.
Another short yardage pass was working for them to decent success at the end of the second quarter, but the running game is what was really making it happen for them, as you said, Matt, as they were finding basically 10-yard gains at least on just about every carry up the gut.
Yep. Yeah, and you want to stick with what works here. I mean, you got Phoenix Muller in the middle there that you got to contend with. He's having a great game, but you got to go with what works.
Hunt had some time to get that ball away, and pass complete to Silas Marchand. Marchand, however, not able to take it any further after he gathered that ball in.
And he's right on the edge of the first down marker there, too. It's going to be a very, very short fourth down. I'm not sure here, being so far in the hole, Holy Cross are going to go for it, I do believe.
They really need to make something happen on this drive to claw back in the game. So it's a risk that makes sense for them, especially when they are just so close to picking up the first. 4th and inches, as that'll be enough, I believe, or no. The offensive line moved forward, but the quarterback was not with them as he was hauled down by a good penetrating effort from the defense. Are they going to say this was enough or not? We'll see.
They're going to bring the chains in and mark it. Where they spotted it there, it looks like nope, it's going to say turnover on downs. They had to get to the other side of the hash mark there, and they only got to their side of it. So it's a good 6 inches short of the first down marker.
Good effort, though, and as we said, you can appreciate why they felt the need to take that risk, even if it didn't work out for them.
Yeah.
But this puts Bateman back in a familiar position there inside the 30-yard line in enemy territory, 28 yards to the house. And, I mean, Phoenix Muller can do this all by himself. We saw him do it a few times towards the end of the second quarter.
Their last 5 offensive plays went into Muller's hands, and he got the 50 yards, 30 in one drive and 20 in the other that they needed.
See what they do here as it's a pass, or a handoff, rather.
He dropped the ball.
To Sam Davenport, and Davenport couldn't hang on to it. It's a fumble, but we'll see who's at the bottom of the pile. I believe it is Davenport.
Yep, Holy Cross comes up with that ball.
And that is a huge turnover. The Holy Cross Crusaders need to catch some breaks, and they get one just to start quarter number 3, under 2 minutes gone on the clock. 10-12 remaining in the third.
Well, you can see there, too, on that handoff, Davenport never actually had control of it. I think he closed his arms a bit quick and kind of pinched the ball between the two of them. But when he took his next step, it started to come loose.
He's been a pivotal player for Bateman. A big reason why they got off to the start they did. Had them on the board just 7 seconds into this one with a huge kick return for a TD. And this time it's the Crusaders on the carry. I believe that was Jack Lauren. And he was able to get back to the line, but not able to find a hole, really, as he tried to cut up.
Yeah, there was just no room. He tried to come to the outside off tackle, and the defense swarmed him. They had a bunch of players on him right away.
See if the Crusaders go back to the running game here. 2nd and 12, as actually Lauren lost some yardage on that carry. Instead, it's the quarterback going to hang on to it himself. What a carry! Incredible! And actually, that was Silas Marchand. Was Marchand in the QB position to start that play? I believe he was.
It was a direct snap to him. I think they moved Hunt out. Yeah, it was Marchand that took the ball directly and gets to the outside. Makes a great move on Roche there to get him turned around and get up to the 50-yard line before he's taken out of bounds.
Excellent carry from Marchand, perhaps his best of the day. As he said, gets him to the 50, and it's Robert Bateman who are going to call timeout, feeling like they're back on their heels to start this third quarter.
Well, and this is what I said. You can get really complacent when you've got a 35-point lead, and a team like Holy Cross can come in here and chip away at that lead very, very quickly if you get a little bit too complacent. And next thing you know, you're in a dogfight at the end of the game. So head coach David Mills wants to settle the defense down, talk to them, make sure that they're all on the same page, and make sure that they're executing and not giving up these big chunk plays.
And as much as Holy Cross might feel like 35 yards is a lot of ground to make up in 2 quarters, they have to remember that 2 quarters is all it took for Bateman to get those points on the board. They can do it too.
Yep. Capitalizing on mistakes. That's how you get your points in this league. Oh.
Andrew Hunt with the handoff. It was fumbled briefly but recovered by Silas Marchand, who will head to the left side and is pushed out after a gain of about 3.
Actually, that was Lauren on that one there. You see him, he loses the ball, the handle on it here, picks it up. Huge, way back in the backfield here, but able to get around the corner, turned up, and actually pick up a yard on that play. It could have been a massive loss for him, but instead he gets some positive yardage out of it.
Just a gain of 1. It would have been 3 if those outer sidelines for the CFL field counted. But a short pass intended for Jonathan Takawa falls harmlessly incomplete.
Hunt's trying to get the ball out of his hand quickly here, which is smart. I mean, this defense gets a lot of pressure on him. So he wants to get the ball out of his hands quickly, but he's not setting himself and delivering the ball the way that he needs to. And I think he needs to just take that half a second longer because he has the time to get himself set and deliver the ball.
See if he's able to find some extra time on this try. Hunt peels out of the pocket, gets the ball away, was looking for Jack Lauren. Instead, Lauren falls to the ground, and he is upset with himself after that one.
Well, we'd see on the replay he had all kinds of space here, and Hunt just puts it over his head. He's frustrated because he knew if he caught that ball, the whole defense was coming to the right, and the left side was wide open. And Hunt just tosses the ball a little bit too high. I think Lauren stopped running too. He turned around to get the pass. If he kept his feet moving towards the sideline, he might have had a shot at that ball.
It's a 4th down situation, but they're going to go for it again, 4th and long. 10 yards to the first down, but why not? And again, direct snap to Silas Marchand, who will run it himself, grabs the 10 yards and then some. That's nearly a 25-yard carry for Silas Marchand. And that play worked wonders for them earlier in the drive. They go right back to it, and Bateman has no answer.
No, and a great job by Marchand here. He just runs up and gets to the outside edge. Beautiful block. Number 3 out there has got a great block, Jonathan Takawa, to get him extra yardage after that as well.
So a fresh set of downs, a successful 4th down conversion, 1st and 10 from the Bateman 39. Andrew Hunt back in the pocket. Will hand this one off. And it goes to Yui Olagola. Olagola was a real incredible player. Flashy, fun to watch last Saturday. Has had a hard time getting anything going so far here today, however.
And it just doesn't look like he's taking that, putting into the second gear there. He's running, but I know he's got a lot more speed than that. And there he just did not look like he got it into the second gear to get moving.
That's a big loss in terms of yardage as well. They find themselves 7 yards back after that tackle. 2nd and 17. Andrew Hunt peels out of the pocket to the right side, puts the ball in the air. It was nearly picked off, and after it avoided the grasp of Ty Martins on defense, Caleb Dyson had a great chance to gather in that bouncing ball. He couldn't hang on to it either.
And he's coming up slowly here. He looks like he went up and then turned, and I think he might have rolled his ankle. There, he's holding his left leg. He came down kind of odd there. I mean, frustration plays a bit into it, but I think the majority of it is, he came down hard on that ankle.
Had an incredible play on a kick return back in the second quarter, did Caleb Dyson. As we mentioned, negated by a penalty flag, but he showed the kind of runner he is on that play. There's all kinds of shiftiness and a great ability to make reads, dodge tackles, find seams where there don't appear to be any. And he'll head to the sidelines. His team will hope he can return to this one.
Yeah, I think these fans have to be part of what's helping Bateman, fueling Bateman out there too. They're so loud.
Making it tough on the offense as well. As that one, another QB sneak situation for Silas Marchand. I believe he took that snap directly.
Yep.
Get another look at it here. He does indeed. At some point, if you go to that well too many times, you have to think the Bateman defense is going to start to know what's going on.
Well, and I like the way they came the other way with it this time, and he went off tackle instead of getting to the outside edge. Mix it up a little bit, but he's probably been their best shot at getting positive yardage.
6-yard pickup, still 4th and 11, unfortunately. But once again, Holy Cross electing to keep it going on 4th down. They're going to look to the sky this time. Hunt gets the pass away, but it's picked off. Intercepted by Jack Weinkoff. And Weinkoff will run it back to the 47 before he's taken down. And he is fired up after that one. Like you said, Matt, playing to the crowd, and the crowd playing back to him as well.
Yep, 100%. The Bateman's fired up on this right here. And you see there on the pass that he's Hunt had a lot of pressure coming down on him. It was number 12, Jared Mueller, that was just bearing down on him. So he tried to get the ball out of his hands quickly and just underthrew number 11, TJ Fujimara.
As Bateman goes to work on offense for the first time in the second half. Logan McDonald gets the pass away, complete to Marcus Roche. Roche hauled down after he picks up the first down. That was a pickup of about 15.
Great run after the catch here by Roche. And he gets up the sideline, just turns around, nice quick pass, and takes off for a run, gets down the field before he's finally wrapped up there and rolled out of bounds by number 55, which is Finlay Urquhart.
And just real impressive stuff from Logan McDonald in this game.
He's very composed out there. Good defensive play there.
Even when he was having trouble connecting with his receivers in the end zone back in the first quarter, they had that situation early, maybe the midway point of the first, where from about the 30, he was looking deep on a few plays to the end zone. His passes were perfectly placed. They were just going right through the hands of his receivers. He is just an incredible talent to watch at quarterback.
Well, at that point, you just stay the course. I mean, you're doing the right things. The passes are where they're supposed to be. They're not bringing them in. Stay the course. And that's what he's done, and that's what's just paid off immensely for them here.
Big key to their success, and a big reason why they're up 35-0 here in this one. And as we speak, he Tries to evade some tackles. Was nearly sacked, but instead runs it up the middle himself and slides before he can be hauled down. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, no further.
Yeah, they got some heavy pressure on him, and it's Urquhart that one more time that gets in there and just tears him down by the arm sleeve. He just good pressure by the Holy Cross defense. They want that ball back bad.
They were able to come up with it on a fumble at about this point in the field moments ago. My apologies, as I said, this was the first drive for Robert Bateman. That, I guess, wasn't much of a drive, though, as I believe they turned it over on their first play.
Yes, yeah. So they did have one play, but, yeah, this is their first actual drive. There's number 17 of the Bateman here, Theo Chapman, was over on the trainer's bench getting some work done, and so it's turn to come on the field, so right away he jumps off the bench, grabs his helmet, and gets right out on the field.
Kicking team out there for Bateman as they will punt this one away on 4th and long. Snap comes back to about the 44, and some nice air on that punt. Bouncing to the 16, and that is where Bateman will touch it. And that is where Holy Cross will begin their next drive. And this is a Holy Cross offense that is finding more offensive success as this game rolls on. Some nice drives to close out the second quarter and a good start to this third as well, but they're still looking to get on the board for the first time today, trailing by 35 points.
Yeah, they're getting some offensive success, but the ultimate success is putting it in the end zone, and they still haven't hit that yet. I know Bateman's here. They're probably taking a more cautious approach with their offense. I mean, you don't want to turn over the ball with advantageous field position, but at the same time, you want to pin them deep, right?
And they are deep to start this one. Silas Marchand been a key player in terms of this Crusaders offense finding success here in the third quarter, but we've got a whistle right off the snap.
Time clock violation.
And it's going to go against the Crusaders.
Well, and that's a rough one. That's a rough one because, you get out there, they punted, so, the coach has given the play to the quarterback already. They get on the field, you've got to get that play off. I mean, I could see it second, third down. Getting the play in from the sideline might take, cause you to get this, but on a first down right after a punt, you should already know what you're doing there.
Andrew Hunt takes the snap, and he fakes the handoff, hangs onto it himself.
Oh, I think
that was actually Silas Marchand.
Yep.
Again, taking direct snaps at quarterback.
When he gets back past the original line of scrimmage and picks up about 3 yards on top of that as well here. Great run, and follows his block, stays upfield, keeps going, and picks up, about 8 yards on that. So it gives him a manageable second down.
A pretty fine acting performance as well, as that was one of the more believable fakes as far as handoffs go that we've seen so far today. It's Marchand taking the direct snap again. This time he does hand it off to Jack Lauren, and Lauren hauled down by Phoenix Mahler right as he gets back to the line.
Well, Mahler's job there was to watch the tailback. And whether Marchand gave it to him or didn't give it to him, his job was to watch the tailback. And he had an eagle eye on him the whole way. As soon as that ball touched his arms, Mahler was right on top of him.
Third down, 8 yards to go for the first. Holy Cross leaning heavy on the run so far in this third quarter. But with some yardage to make up, are they going to look back to the sky? Probably not, as it's Silas Marchand taking the direct snap again. Marchand will hang on to it himself. Looks to cut up the middle, and he gets wrapped up, or clung onto by the jersey anyways, and taken down after a short gain, if any.
Marchand here tucks it away, and then he just gets kind of bounced off his defender or his blocker and can't seem to get that open space that he was finding before, and it's Mahler one more time that just stays with him and brings him down. They're going to have to punt at this point. The last thing you want to do is to give give it up on your 18-yard line here.
4th down, 8 yards to go. As Matt mentioned, on the 18. And that will bring the quarterback back out. Andrew Hunt, also the kicker for this team. And I don't believe Hunt took a single snap on that possession.
No, he did not.
Silas Marchand running the ball nearly every single time as the kick is away and gathered in at the 45. Ty Martins looking to the right side.
A
flag on the play.
Yeah, bunch of flags there, and rightfully so. I mean, one of the Bateman defenders came in there, blockers came in there, and just laid out 2 of the Holy Cross guys with a blindside block.
That was Brandon Fuchs for Holy Cross, one of the recipients of that illegal block. Just went down hard as the referees converse.
Yeah. That's going to be 10 yards, I do believe, back the other way. Oh, my bad,
no.
15.
Marched from the 50 back to the 35, and that is where Bateman finds themselves to begin this drive.
And this is where Holy Cross has to catch a break. This is where they need to make something happen here. They need to get that ball back, preferably right there.
They were able to come up with a big fumble recovery earlier in this quarter, as Bateman tries to run it up the gut in the hands of Phoenix Mahler. He's able to pick up 6 on the carry.
A little confusion there. Holy Cross was getting a late defender out on the field there, and Muller noticed that and ran right where that defender should have been here. Good job by Muller. Get turned up the field here and just run for the open spot. But big number 52, is it there? 52, Landon Summers was able to wrap him up and take him down.
2nd down, 4 yards to go. Logan McDonald set to take the snap, has a receiver in motion. Will hand the ball off to Mahler again. Mahler up the gut, wrapped up by a number of different Crusaders.
I love the way that Mahler makes yards after contact here. You see him here, he gets the handoff, the fake to number 1. He runs into his own blockers and then peels off of them and makes yardage, lots of yards right after contact.
It's Matt Fraser for the Crusaders who makes that tackle. Had some assistance as well, as there was another guy down below wrapping up the feet of Phoenix Mahler. Fraser was the man on top. Logan McDonald throws the ball out left, connects to Rosh, and Marcus Rosh hauled down before he can go very far with it.
Enough to move the sticks, though, and that's what they want to keep doing here. Bateman wants to control his clock. I mean, time's ticking away here in the 3rd quarter, and they just got themselves another 1st down right at the 50-yard line.
Just a masterful job of managing the clock, managing this game, really, for Robert Bateman, who, as we mentioned back in the 2nd quarter, but it bears repeating, have yet to surrender a single touchdown under the dome thus far.
Yeah. On
the road to the Subway Bowl. Clean sheet last week against the Windsor Dukes. 28-0 the final score in that one. They're up 35-0 here this morning.
Unbelievable. They've had such a good game today. They've played so well. It's good to see.
They look to have punched their ticket to the Subway Bowl, but of course, still the 4th quarter yet to play. But Sam Davenport opened the scoring and just put an exclamation point on it here as well.
That's his 3rd score of the day. He's run a return, caught one for a touchdown, and ran one for a touchdown. He's just having a phenomenal day today.
Davenport, incredible, takes the ball in at the 20 and runs it in for the score. Big play.
We got our next 2 competitors out there, John Barsby and Vernon, warming up, and you bet they're keeping their eye on the field as they're warming up out there, because they know that whoever wins their game has to face the winner here.
Davenport kicks the point after as well, and it's good. There's a flag on the play. Officials talking this one over as both teams head back to their respective sidelines. We'll see if they have to come back out and do this again.
Extra point's good. I do believe it was, I saw them making the face mask motion, and I think it was against Holy Cross. So this is going to be huge because they'll assess this on the kickoff from where the ball's kicked, and that's going to be a big difference.
Of course, as we've mentioned many times, Sam Davenport, just an incredible leg on him, as you're finally getting a look on the screen at these fans we've been talking about with the face paint, and you're right. I thought that was dyed hair earlier. He has just shaved his head altogether, and he's got the face paint covering his whole head.
And ears. His ears are green, too. I think they should go for a wander downtown Vancouver after this game and see what kind of looks they get.
Wildlings on the sideline. Spirited crowd from Robert Bateman have had plenty to cheer about as the Timberwolves now up 42-0. That's the end of the third quarter, 12 minutes to go, and as you mentioned, that penalty assessed at the extra point kick has placed this kickoff at the 45, and we'll see if the Timberwolves just go for an onside here.
Well, I think they might want to squib it and keep it in play and see if they can pin them deep in their end zone. Nope, they're just going to pound it down.
Just about right through the uprights.
He had the distance.
Little to the left.
He had the distance for sure.
Sam Davenport, who had the touchdown. What a leg on him. My goodness.
I point out something here. David Mills coaches with the Abbotsford Falcons, Adam Football. Last weekend, his team was up in Kamloops in the 9-man provincial championship. They came in second, but they were up there fighting for that. He had to be down here for the Subway Bowl. You watched him coach. Yeah. And his son's on the sideline here. So he's gone from 9-man provincials in community football to semifinals in the Dome. Watching it. That's a huge experience for them, for this young man. And a bunch of his buddies and teammates are out in the stands here watching this team as well.
Big couple weeks for David Mills, and he has to be happy with what he's seeing from his team so far today.
He's such a good coach. He's such an easy-mannered guy. He doesn't get too excited. And I think that his team feeds off of that, too.
Holy Cross begins this drive from their own 20 as Andrew Hunt.
They blew the whistle. It's going to be dead. I'm not sure why they blew the whistle there.
I don't see a flag on the field.
No, I think the side judge there didn't realize that the quarterback had the ball. So they're going to, not sure what they're going to do here.
So he was fooled by the handoff and thought that the other guy was downed?
Yep. Yep. He thought, I think they're going to have to replay the down here.
Oh, no.
Which is hurtful for the Crusaders because they had a great play.
Yeah, and it seems like for Holy Cross in this game, if not for bad luck, they'd have no luck at all.
No, because so he faked the handoff, and the guy that he faked it to got tackled, and someone blew the whistle. They thought that he had the ball too. Great fake.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it. Is your fake was so great, you fooled the official as well.
Yeah.
But it just seems like every big offensive play that Holy Cross has been able to come up with has been negated somehow, if not by a flag, then by an official mix-up, as we just saw.
Well, and I don't see when the whistle went, the defender had Hunt lined up. I don't think Hunt would have gotten all the way up to the 50 like he did.
Yeah, everybody stopped.
Everybody stopped, and then Andrew started running again and got up to the 50, but Oh,
And he's picked off here. A pick six. Sam Davenport doing it all.
yeah.
A running touchdown, a receiving touchdown, a kick return touchdown, and a defensive INT pick six. Every single way you can score, Sam Davenport has done it all here today.
Phenomenal job by Sam Davenport today. He's just been unbelievable. And like I said early in the game, university coaches, if you haven't already talked to him, you might be too late. He is just an unbelievable football player.
All he needs now is to kick a field goal, and I don't know that there are any other ways to score in the game of football than what he's done today.
And the thing is his work ethic. The thing about Sam Davenport is his work ethic. And I remember talking to his dad back when he was with the Falcons and his dad was helping coach. And he's telling me that Sam's out there and it's getting dark and he's still wanting to kick more field goals, Like he just works so hard at his craft. And now in his grade 12 year, he's shown today. He's brought it all out here today.
Just a cut above. And he was a very impressive player in last Saturday's action as well, but it was more of a varied offense from Bateman. We saw Logan McDonald really mix it up in terms of who he was going to go to throughout the day. Ty Martins, Ryan Stuhar. Stuhar was probably his favored receiver over the course of the day last Saturday, but man, it is hard to have a more impressive showing than what we've seen from Sam Davenport so far here this morning.
No kidding. No kidding. That's phenomenal. Coach's dream right there.
And he's going to be the one to kick this ball away as well, as he's just doing it all over the field. And as we said, one of the few guys in high school ball with the power to not just kick it all the way down the field, but out the back of the end zone to force them to take the touchback. We'll see if he's able to do that again here.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it that he was kicking field goals at age 10.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Unbelievable boot on him.
I work a lot of high school ball on the North Shore over the course of the regular season, Matt. And, I mean, you see teams all year long where, not just the junior teams, but sometimes senior clubs as well. They just do not have a kicker who is able to do these things. It is so rare to find a high school team that is comfortable going for field goals. But, man, if you got a player like Sam Davenport, you got to be feeling comfortable kicking it in any situation. Yeah.
No, for sure. For sure. And like I said, back in, junior bantam and peewee, we had no problem putting the ball on his foot. He was just so confident on what he could do. And you see the work that he had put into it, But you see in community ball at the lower levels, Adam Peewee and junior bantam, they actually give you 2 points on the kick convert and 1 point on the run or the throw to try and force coaches to start grooming the kickers, right? Because those points are there. And those are easy points to get.
As Holy Cross wrapped up in the backfield. Tried to get a run this time in the hands of Jan Sabito. Not a name that we've called so far today, so they're mixing it up a little bit, trying to find something to get them going on offense.
Yeah, they got to throw all of it at it now. I mean, you're down 49-0. This clock hasn't stopped. I mean, I do believe it's at 30 points that it just goes into run time. And so the clock hasn't stopped here in the second half, and they're just running out of time.
Pass away, complete to Caleb Dyson. Dyson can't go very far with it, unfortunately.
No.
As he's wrapped up, third down.
And you got to think, too, with this Bateman team, their defense has been their strength even today. I mean, they turned the ball over on the 30, scored. Turned the ball over on the 20, scored. They got a pick six. Their opening kickoff, special teams. They've put 28 of their points up on the board via defense.
Knocked off the defending champs to start the tournament last week as well. And just from everything I've seen from them so far, Matt, you have to think they're the favorite in the AA tournament right now. I know we haven't seen. I personally have not had a chance to get a look at either of the two teams coming up in the semifinal after this one, but it is hard to put on a performance as impressive as what we've seen from Bateman, not just today, but last week as well.
I think so. I have to agree with you there. This has been a phenomenal game today by the Robert Bateman Timberwolves in all aspects of the game. They've run well. They've thrown well. Their defense is on point. Special teams are getting the job done. You'd have to really look to find a weakness here.
And they've probably got the best quarterback in AA football in BC as well.
Yep.
And Logan McDonald, who has just been impressive as can be. Meanwhile, it's the other QB getting a pass away as Andrew Hunt looked to connect with Caleb Dyson, and that one, I believe, was knocked out of the air before it could quite get to him, was nearly picked off. We'll get another look at it here.
Yeah, it was Davenport jumping the route one more time there. He saw what he wanted, and I almost had it.
Had a pick six on the last possession, nearly came up with another one, and he would have been off to the races if he'd gathered that one in.
Holy Cross is desperate to get something going. I mean, they went for it on 4th down on their 20, and I know Bateman here, I can't see him doing much more than just running the ball and killing clock.
At this point, you have to be worried about conserving your health heading into the final next week. The lead that they have and the key players that they want to keep healthy, you got to think they're going to be taking it relatively easy the rest of the way.
Yeah. I wonder being on the 20-yard line here, if they get to the 4th down, are they going to let Davenport kick one so he can bat for the cycle, so they say?
Why not, right?
Yeah. I'd love to see that. Not that I want to see more points thrown up on Holy Cross, but just it's been a real special day for Sam Davenport.
Yeah, exactly. Why not put a cherry on top of it?
Yeah. I mean, he's a coach's dream. He's a great young man. Very, very polite, very hardworking. His work ethic is, great. But he's a great student as well. And I think, wherever he ends up going, I think he's going to do well. His work ethic will just take him places.
As he plays to the crowd to get a fired-up response from the Robert Bateman faithful, who have been, of course, happily cheering them on all game long. Bateman takes a snap. McDonald hands that one off to Phoenix Mahler, and Mahler's tripped up as he gets back to the line. Short gain, if any.
Well, there's another player who's had a really good game, both on defense and offense, is Phoenix Mahler. And you watch him walk, he's just such a tank. He's so well built. He's a linebacker first and foremost, but running that ball at as a tail, that's got to be scary for any team, seeing that running downhill on them.
And they really went to the pass game more than anything last Saturday. I know it's hard to say that they haven't gone back to the passing game here today as well, especially when you consider the games that Sam Davenport has had and Ryan Stuhar to an extent as well. But don't forget, Phoenix Mahler, a big part of why they have the lead that they do. We mentioned it earlier, but he had 2 consecutive drives, Matt, where it was nobody but Phoenix Mahler picked up 50 yards for 2 TDs in a row.
Well, exactly. It was 5 plays, 5 handoffs to Mahler, 2 touchdowns. It was, just scary how quickly he scored. Once from the 30, and they ran 3 plays and he was in, and once from the 20, and they ran 2 plays and he was in.
You need to get all facets of your game going if you're heading into the finals. Hard to say that is not the case for Bateman here. The run has been successful. The passing game has been successful, and most of all, their defense has just been like an airlock.
Yeah.
Nothing in, nothing out.
Yeah, they're definitely slowing them down, that's for sure.
As they continue to work the clock and just run the ball up the middle. Playing pretty conservative.
Great group tackle on Muller there. And this Holy Cross defense hasn't been horrible today. They've played very well.
Now we're into a 4th down situation. If they were going to go for a field goal for Davenport, it would be here.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like that's what they're lining up for, though.
No.
Logan McDonald. letting time tick off as much as possible before he takes the snap. Will hand the ball off, and they'll run it up the gut.
Well, they picked up a first down.
This time in the hands of Jared Mueller. So a couple of different runners for them today. Mahler and Mueller. Mueller getting his first significant carry. And it'll move the chains.
I think that's the end of the game right there. I think they could kneel it down here twice and be out of here.
And what a performance from the Robert Bateman Timberwolves, who are just in a league of their own from what we've seen thus far.
Yeah.
I hate to hammer the same point again and again, but the fact that through 2 games here in BC Place Stadium on the road to the Subway Bowl, they have yet to surrender a single touchdown.
Wow.
Knocking off the Windsor Dukes last week, and today the Holy Cross Crusaders. This team is something else.
That's about all I got out of that one is wow. This has just been unbelievable today. I mean, 49-0. And Holy Cross came out fighting. They had some really good plays. They did a really great job out there, but just couldn't get into that end zone. You got one player still from Bateman. He's out there to shake hands with his teammates, number 55, that went out early hurt and didn't come back into the game. Still hobbling on one leg.
And fans, of course, don't go anywhere. We got plenty more where this came from. The first of 4 games in a row under the dome here on another packed Sports Saturday. It is semifinal Saturday on the road to the Subway Bowl, the 2018 BC High School Football Playoffs. And, of course, Robert Bateman advancing to the final. They will play again under the dome next Saturday. Up next, we will determine the team that has the misfortune of playing this Bateman team that is showing no signs of weakness so far. It's Barsby versus Vernon, and it's getting underway in about 15 minutes' time. So do not go anywhere. We've got you covered all day long here on SportsCanada.TV. My name is Justin Morissette. He is Matt Macri. We've got the game coming up before you know it as well. So we will be keeping you company. Don't go anywhere, folks. There's plenty more where this came from. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning here with us on SportsCanada.TV.